The Super Bowl is buzzing around here in New Orleans, and you know what that buzz is? The Arizona Cardinals need to continue to build around quarterback Kyler Murray. We got some big-time heavyweight guests joining the show. Will Hernandez, does he want to stay in the desert, be a part of the Cards going forward? Our guy Chris Sims and Mike Florio. Are we able to kind of put aside our differences and talk some ball? It's all coming up on this live edition from Super Bowl Radio Row here on PHNX Cardinals. What's going on live from New Orleans? The Big Easy, it's Bo Brack, Damon, Dawg. Our guy JV from Bach, he's around here somewhere. Our guy Johnny Venerable will be joining us here mañana. That's right, no JV today, but man, are we slammed packed with some great guests, including Will Hernandez before he hits the free agent market. His want, his need to come back to the Cardinals, where he's had 3 successful seasons. Also, how he's doing coming off of his injury, his season-ending knee injury. Plus, are we able to make good with Mike Florio? Obviously, a polarizing figure as far as the Cardinals fan base goes. We talked to Pro Football Talk man himself, and then, of course, his co-host, Chris Sims. We always have our annual heat check as far as how he's feeling as far as the Cards franchise quarterback, Kyler Murray. Damon, Dawg, we also caught up with a couple ex-Cards last night at opening night. Got to see what DJ Humphries is up to. He's 1 win away from a Super Bowl, becoming a Super Bowl champion, and DJ gave us some insight as far as what his plans are if they are able to hoist the Lombardi Trophy and they're out of control. They're basically insane. And then also we caught up with Hollywood Brown, the former Cardinals receiver turned Chiefs top target as of right now with Rashid Rice on the mend. We talked to Hollywood Brown, what he's up to, how he's gone from being in the desert to being one of the top catchers from a guy like Patrick Mahomes. So give you a little sights and sounds from last night, plus what's been going on here at Radio Row today. Of course, our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code PHNX365 when you sign up and find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Looking at the board today, starting to see some tasty props up there. Starting to see some nice bets that should be made between now and Super Bowl Sunday. And, of course, we'll ultimately have our final hold or fold the line, I think, late in the week. We got some hot tips out there. Might have a bit of a second edition of us meeting up with another polarizing figure in Arizona Cardinals history. We talked to a man a couple years ago. Might get another opportunity at that. So excited about all that going down here on PHNX Cards. But, it's the buzz around here. And everybody I talk to from our friends over at Sumer Sports who have really kind of are the cutting edge as far as how to analyze, put together data that is meaningful in the NFL these days. And what it points to as far as the Arizona Cardinals coming off the 2024 season. We talked to many of the analysts and experts over there. We talked to a guy like Sims. We talked to Florio. And you get a sense, a growing sense, despite, the opportunities missed for the Arizona Cardinals, there also remains the best option moving forward is to build around quarterback Kyler Murray. And we continue to have those conversations, and they're going to continue to be had until, the Cardinals take the field again. Is he going to be able to kind of buck off the trends that happened at the end of last season that put them in a position to miss the postseason, unfortunately, for a third consecutive season? But, I think Cardinals fans who are on the fence, they're going to start to come back onto the other side and realize that K1 is the guy going forward. I mean, you'll hear from Will Hernandez himself, a guy that was in that locker room, speaks with a lot of conviction about could be his former quarterback, continue to be a guy that he protects going forward wearing a Cardinals uniform. But, we got Damon, Dawg. Damon was out there. He was talking to all the stars last night. Who were some of the notables you talked to last night, Damon, at the Super Bowl opening night?
Yeah, made some new best friends last night. Scott Hansen, ever heard of him? As well as
Mr. Red Zone.
yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking more than just friends though, Bo. I made a lot of enemies, and in
Really?
particular,
Sad to hear that.
Ian Rappaport and Guillermo from the Jimmy Kimmel Show. You've made an enemy for life out of me.
Yeah. I hate to hear that. Ian Rappaport was probably at one point the biggest guest that we had on this humble program. When we were just a baby podcast a couple years ago, did a lot of great work for us. We've talked to him several times, and it pains me to hear that you've got a little bit of a villain origin story with you and Rap Sheet.
I mean, you think you get on a plane with a guy leaving
Yeah,
Mobile, Alabama last year at the Senior Bowl, and you think that you have a bond,
yeah,
and then you ask him to do a quick little social media video, and he laughs in your face and walks away.
yeah. He doesn't even like take you as a serious person in this business. He just kind of laughed you off. I had a similar moment with Schefter. So if we're pitting the two newsbreakers against each other, Schefter, I was going to go up and I was trying to get some insight for you fine folks out there about a potential Myles Garrett trade. Meanwhile, Tom Pelissaro is a scholar, a gentleman, and gives me a generous amount of his time and breaks down it that you can find here on the YouTube page. And then there's Shefty, who is giving me the, hold on a second, and then has a pretend somebody pulling him away from me and then just completely exits my general vicinity and leaves. So, yeah, I think we've got the two top newsbreakers in the NFL on our bad list.
Yeah, it is what it is. Also, not to mention Ian Rappaport, I was trying to talk to him even earlier, and he hit me with the spin move the opposite way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pro move. I'll give him that. It really was. And then, another enemy of mine, Big Dom.
Yeah,
We saw Big Dom out there. Got pretty close to him. Just me and that guy, man. It's like Peter Griffin and the chicken and Family Guy.
right. Yeah. It's, as you said, a lot of friends made and a lot of enemies, and it's that's the content creation game here. And when I feel like some of these insiders are getting a little too big for their britches and feeling we're getting big leagued, even though we're out here and guys like Pelissaro, Pelly as we'll call him. We're gonna call him that.
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, we're up here mucking it up with guys like Tommy Pelly, and we've also got Chris Sims, Chris Sims ran the All-City Gauntlet today. I mean, he's sitting over there, he's talking to CHGO Bears for 20 minutes, then he's doing 20 minutes with DNVR Broncos and another 20 with the LLS, and then he's like, you know what? I've always got to make time for our friends over at PHNX Cardinals, and we did about 7 minutes because I didn't want to take too much of his time.
That was big of you, Bo.
I don't want to be selfish. I want to be selfish for all of you, but at the same time, I saw this guy just did about an hour 20 with the AllCity brand and gave us everything he had. And I knew 20 minutes, 7 minutes, I'm going to get the best that Sims has to offer because he always brings it.
Simsy, man. That's our guy.
Pelly, Simsy, Will Hernandez. I love the interview we did with full transparency. I did the interview with Will Hernandez about an hour ago. Got a new lid, of course, Miho Things, his brand there. Check it out. Check out his website. He gave us tremendous insight as far as this Cardinals season that went down and how he's making his way back from a knee injury. And also his thoughts as far as the organization going forward, his will to be a part of this. Obviously, there's some things that he can't control as far as him being an impending free agent, and then just his thoughts on Kyler Murray and the team going forward. So, man, it doesn't get more packed than this today. And as I said, the DJ Humphreys, the Hollywood Brown, that's all coming your way. I need to say hi to everybody there in the chat. I hope everybody's having a great start to their week. Tuesday, back in the Valley of the Sun, we have a couple interviews that are on the YouTube streets. Got to talk to Diamondbacks world champion Kurt Schilling. That full Pelissaro video is up on our YouTube as well. So it's just been an electric start all the way around, even without Johnny here. And there hasn't been a single moment where somebody's like, Where's Johnny?
Especially without Johnny here, I would argue.
He's gonna be in the fold. He's traveling right now, and he'll be on here. He'll get his bearings tonight, and then be on the show tomorrow. As we've already got, as I said, a big guest that we're excited about, and then we've got lots of hooks, lots of lines in the pond, looking to get some more big fish here on the show. But it's tough. Mr. Fat Gangster, what's up, Bird Gang? Rafa 30, Nick Ochoa. We got our entire squad here. Different time as usual. We appreciate you guys getting in here. Claymore Jones, Schaff, Eli. The squad is here. Eris. So, what do you think we get to here first? I think we go over that interview with Will Hernandez. Get the latest from Will, what he's up to, what he's doing out here, how he felt the Cardinals finished, and his want to rejoin the organization potentially as a free agent. Let's get to the Will Hernandez interview here. It's just coming up next here on PHNX Cardinals. Love to see this guy on Radio Row and moving around so well. It's, of course, our guy Will Hernandez. Yeah, Arizona Cardinals guard. Soon to be free agent. Hope to keep him in the Valley. But you know what, Will? I got to say, it was so it broke my heart. You have such a great season. And, obviously a contract year, but it was nice to see once you were gone away from the locker room, everybody sporting the Miho things, hats and shirts, all the swag, like from Trey McBride to James Conner to your fellow offensive lineman. You were missed.
Oh, for sure, man. And I definitely miss those guys just as much as they missed me. I miss being on that field too. But, at the end of the day, we signed up for this. It's part of the game, and as much as it sucks and as much as it can suck for me, especially this year, you got to take it on the chin, and you got to know that it's part of it.
Yeah,
it's part of it. And the only thing that truly matters now from here on out, because it already happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's done. Is how do you respond from it? Are you the same guy? Are you able to keep this strong?
Yeah,
and just keep rolling. And that's what we're doing.
That mentality, is that always been there? Is that something that I think that the culture that's kind of been established under Gannon and awesome for it? Is that something that you've always done, or is that something that you just feel like is appropriate right now?
Well, definitely. I mean, coaching staff, you never stop learning.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from those guys as well. But this is the way I've been since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And part of that reason, is you do all these things, but you never truly know if you're truly that person until something bad happens. And that was the case for me. I've never been injured my entire career, or at least not injured to the point where I needed surgery and my season was over. Never been in this predicament. So it was very eye-opening, and it was very great for me, for myself, to see that, look, this happened.
Yeah.
And I'm still the same guy.
Right.
So, I took what I could from it, and I'm just going to keep it rolling from here on out.
Yeah. You know what? I got to catch up with your old friends last night at Super Bowl opening. I saw DJ Humphries out there. It's got to be exciting to see one of your old teammates get a chance, one win away from the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, man. No, I'm so happy for that guy, and I'm so proud of him, too. He's one of those vets that – because when I came into Arizona, when I came into the Cardinals, I was the only new offensive lineman that they had at the time. And I was the youngest one. I was going into year 5, and I was the youngest guy on that entire starting offensive line by like 4 years. So it was Humphrey, it was Pugh, it was Rodney Hudson, and it was Kelvin Beachum.
Yeah.
And then just me throwing in that right guard, the young buck. And it was funny because, last season before I got hurt, I was the oldest one on that offensive line. So, it just goes to show how crazy and how quickly things can change.
But it is interesting, just how things have evolved and changed. And it's like last year you guys were such a tight-knit group. I'm talking about 2023. You add PJ, the right side. I'll contend. I loved the buddy cop duo that you guys were, the tag team duo that you guys were on that right side. Him at right tackle, you at right guard. Yelda emerges as a journeyman guy to a starting center. You've got so many different pieces from Grandpa to Beach. You guys lose like one or two pieces, but you still have, I feel like that camaraderie in the offensive line group. What is it that keeps you guys tight knit like that?
Well, first of all, it starts with the kind of quality of guys that you have and you're bringing in.
Yeah.
scouts know this, coaches know this, GMs know this when they sign guys. Will this guy mesh with this guy? I think that's part of the whole evaluation as well too. GMs have to have that eye for personalities and for how guys are based on like how they talk and how they act.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to know these guys will mesh well together. And that's exactly what we had. We had a bunch of guys, even though we were all from different backgrounds, we all meshed really well because the main thing of winning, working hard, all that was all there for all of us. And I think that was one of the most important parts. And when you have an offensive line because everybody knows you have to work together as an offensive line. When everybody has that, it makes everything so much easier.
Yeah. I mean, like, Hump exits, Paris moves over, you bring in Jonah, get Evan Brown, who's just his workouts are now legendary from what we hear. He's out there, he's a workout warrior, right? And he's pushing guys to compete with them. Like Paris said that he wants to beat him in like 2 things every time he's in the weight room. But it's just like, as much as things change, they stay the same, I think, as far as the culture of that room. And that's got to be a testament to, like you're saying, the type of guys that come in there. That's really cool to see. When we talk about this Cardinals team, and they really love to run the football. And is that just something that you guys thrive off of? Like, you talk about being like-minded with the person next to you, but then you got James behind you. You got, you work in the tight ends. You got Tip Ryman, who's just a hard-nosed guy. He likes to get his hands dirty. Trey, even, as much as a pass catcher as he embraces his blocking role. What is it about you guys? I mean, how does that get instilled?
I think we all understand that if you have that base concept down of being able to run the ball at will, it opens up everything else, and it makes you dangerous. Because now, if there's a team that can't even stop the run, how are they going to stop the pass if they're trying to stop the run? How are they going to stop all these play action screens? Whenever they think we're definitely running the ball and we're not, and now we got guys open, we got Trey McBride open. It goes back to the fundamentals. Like, if you can run the ball efficiently, and you don't even have to be the best in the league, but you can just run it very efficiently, everything else opens up, and now all of a sudden you got high caliber receivers when maybe before the season they weren't. But now they are, because they have the chance, the opportunity, because the offensive line, James Conner, and all those tight ends that block for us as well, is getting that one specific job done.
Can you give us any insight on the end of the year dinner with the offensive line? I saw on Paris Johnson's Instagram there was a large bill that apparently Christian Jones and Isaiah Adams maybe had to pick up. Was that number, was it tweaked? Was it real?
You see, this is why you can't believe everything you see on the internet. So that was a fake bill.
Okay.
We were messing with them a little bit. Again, we mess around with each other. We have that, camaraderie. We were messing with the rookies. Printed out a fake bill, got their reaction, messed with them a little bit. And after that, the real bill came out. I think it might have been like a fourth of that.
Okay.
Half, something like that. I don't know. I didn't pay. The rookies did.
Right.
But definitely was a fake bill. And, we were just having some fun with the rookies.
Both those guys fit right into third-round pick in Adams, and he filled in admirably for you, picking up at the right guard spot. And then, of course, Christian Jones getting the start at the end of the season. Great personality. Had the fortune of talking to him a little bit. I can't imagine whose soul left their body when they saw that bill.
Both of theirs. Yeah, those guys were in sync for sure. But and it was actually hilarious because Christian saw it first, and we were getting his reaction, and Adams was just asking him to see it. He's like, just let me see it. How much is it? How much is it? And Christian was just so mind-boggled by the number that he just kept holding on to it. And Adams was just like, let me see the bill. And that made it even funnier.
Yeah.
But no, those guys were very good sports. I love their personalities. I love them as players. I'm glad Arizona picked them up, and they're definitely going to be of a lot of help for us in the future.
Let me talk to you about the stretch with this team. You go into the bye week 6-4, and then rough patch, and you can't go to the postseason like everybody wanted to. How was it first? Watching that and not being able to contribute. But then also, like, what was your takeaway as far as just how things ended for the Cardinals in 2024?
Yeah, I was crushed as soon as I found out that I'm not going to be returning to play.
Yeah.
Obviously, I took my own, little few days to pout about it, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, that's when I got my mind right. And I said, okay, how can I still be of use to the guys around me? Like, I'm useless physically now.
Yeah.
How can I still be of use to these guys to this team, which is still like I'm still under contract. Like I feel some sort of that I still owe something.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, well, first things first, talk to these guys, show up in the facility, talk to them while in the training room, motivate them, send them texts, congratulate them after wins. And then when I was able to finally start walking, I showed up to the home games and I was on the sidelines. And I was talking to guys, like, I was coaching them up a little bit, helping them out, talking to the rooks. And, that was the biggest way I can contribute something to, the season that I thought I was going to have. And then after that, seeing everything how it unfolded, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of things that went wrong. There's a lot of things that these guys are going to build on.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that, like, I feel are only going to just go like this.
Yeah. I mean, Paris taking over that left tackle spot seems like, I talked to DJ, and he's like, it was seamless last night. He's like, he wasn't surprised by it. He was like, his transition to franchise left tackle was seamless from the right tackle spot, which is unbelievable to hear. But I got to ask you this question as far as the quarterback play. What do you envision the future of Kyler Murray as you just told me that you feel like things are close with clicking in this offense? What do you think the future is for K1?
I have all the faith in K1. I know him as a person, as a player, all that. And I think that's the guy. That's who you build around. That's who you tweak a little bit with here and there. And everything comes together. I mean, it's not just the Kyler Murray show either. Like, there's other parts that need to be intact. Like, the coaching staff needs to be there. The offensive line obviously always needs to be there. But I think Kyler's exactly who can take them to a Super Bowl and can win one with him. Like, I have all the faith in that guy. And, with the right pieces, with a little bit of luck too, because that plays a part in it too, they can get big things done there. We can definitely make some stuff happen. And I have all the faith in the world in them, him and, the players around him too.
We have a channel here at DLLS. They cover the Cowboys. They're in our network. We got the Bears show over there, CHGO. They see a impending free agent to be, and they need a guard, and they're like, we need Will Hernandez. What's the future hold for Will Hernandez? You want to make a permanent home in the desert? Is that what you want to happen in this offseason?
Hey, man, of course I would love to stay where I'm at, where I already built these relationships, where I already know, what each person brings to the table. Like, I'm a very loyal kind of dog, bro. Like once I connect with someone, once I play in the trenches with these guys, I'm attached. Like, I would definitely love to stay, But at the end of the day, it's not up to me. I can't make these decisions, and if something happens where, like, I can or I can't, then we'll go off of that, and we'll see what the next step is. I haven't even thought about it. The only thing I think about is getting this knee back to 100%, which is exactly what's happening as well. And I'll be back, and I know that for sure. But until then, I can't. It'd be weird to worry about all these other things.
You're an athlete's first guy, right? I mean, they'll get the work done for you. You'll get whatever the best deal is for Will Hernandez. They'll find that one out there. But we absolutely want you in the desert. What was it like seeing Clayton Adams get that gig in Dallas?
Oh man, I was so happy for him. I was there when he first came in as a rookie O-line coach for the first time. He was his first time getting that head O-line coach job. And Cardinals did that with him. And so when he came into the room, this as a player. There's veterans in the room. I wasn't even the oldest. Kelvin Beachum, Grandpa Beach. So we were kind of just like wondering how he was going to handle the room, being a first-time guy. And he handled it very well. He knew exactly what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say. And honestly, he showed a lot of maturity. If you wouldn't have told me he was a rookie O-line coach, I wouldn't have known the difference. And I think he did a great job with everything, with everyone, taking all the players that he got and making them the best that they possibly could be. I think he did all that. And you could tell it too, man. I've been through a lot of O-line coaches, and you can tell this guy definitely cares about what he does. It's not just any job for him. He doesn't just he does it for the right reasons. He cares, and he's passionate about it. And that's all you want from an offensive line coach.
Yeah.
Because they can all do their job. They're very smart. But the fact that they can bring that to the table, the passion, the care, all that's what makes an O-line coach valuable in my eyes.
Yeah, Dallas got a real one. It's a loss for the Cardinals. I like who they brought in, Justin Fry from Ohio State. They match him back with Paris. It's a nice little pipeline to have from Columbus. But, Will, you're doing some great things. You launched the clothing line, Mijo Things. Unbelievable. Where can people get some swag?
MijoThings.shop. MijoThings.shop is our domain. And then also on my Instagram, I have the link right there. Takes you directly to the website. You can buy any Mijo merch there. And we're going to be launching our new drop at the end of February. And on top of that, we are launching a food truck called Mijo's Tacos in El Paso, Texas, June 21st, following my second annual camp.
Nice.
And we'll be the first time. I'll give all those campers and parents first time to try the Mijo things, Mijo's Tacos truck, and we'll take off from there.
Get some future miners in there, and they'll get some great tacos.
Exactly.
That'd be great, man. So, look for that. Obviously, look for the drop coming in February, and I heard you guys are doing some big things, too. You're going to want to make sure you're following Will Hernandez on all your social channels, Twitter, Instagram. He's got all these incredible stuff. Hopefully, you'll get to see maybe a story or a post of him re-signing a nice new contract with the Arizona Cardinals. But regardless of where you go, Will Hernandez, it's been a pleasure, man.
Hey.
Best of luck, of course, the rest of the time here in New Orleans and in your future.
Appreciate you having me, man. I had a lot of fun.
Great stuff from Will Hernandez. Of course, check out the Mijo things. That's the Mijo right there. That's Will Hernandez. And, man, like, after talking to him, it even kind of you want him back in that Cardinals locker room. You want him back on that offensive line. Maybe it makes things a little bit easier if you re-sign Will, you move forward with Isaiah Adams, and you've got your guard situation figured out, and then go spend a little bit on a tackle, or maybe even view that in the draft at 16th overall. But they've got options, and one of those is bringing back Will Hernandez. What should the Cardinals' options be at quarterback? We talked to our guy, Chris Sims from Pro Football Talk Live, and, of course, Unbutton the podcast. All coming up next, PHNX Cardinals. Yeah, we're going to talk to our guy, Chris Sims, here shortly. But also, we've got just so much going on out here at Radio Row. I lost my sponsorship docket here. And
let's talk about our good friends over at Spinatos, Bo.
Love Spinatos. Love Spinatos. I love how you say Spinatos. It's the correct pronunciation. And anybody who gets it wrong, shame on you, because Spinatos is, of course, synonymous with great pizza in the Valley of the Sun. And they're also synonymous with the Phoenix Suns. They want to, of course, make Spinatos the place you go to watch your Phoenix Suns games if it's not downtown at the Purple Palace at the arena. We love our friends over at Spinatos Pizzeria. Of course, if you want to go watch one of the Suns watch parties, the official pizza of the Suns, you can go check them out, maybe play a little horse. But in this contest at Spinatos, it's Pizza. It's a little pizza instead of horse. Of course, both parties of the contest, they give fans the chance to win free Suns tickets at one of these watch parties and free pizza. We love Spinatos. Look, once a week, it's me, my wife, my son, a little Kevin McCarthy. He's special, right? Kevin McAllister. I apologize. Not I botched the Home Alone kid's name, but get him just strictly cheese, and then we get a little spicy Italian, and the whole family is pumped because it's pizza night and it's done right with our friends over at Spinatos. And of course, they want to get you to their watch parties and find more info, pizza and basketball contests at SpinatosPizzeria.com. You can also order a pie there as well. Why not? Spinatos, official pizza of the Phoenix Suns. What else do we have next?
We're also talking about our good friends over at Sanderson Ford, Bo.
Love Sanderson Ford. Got to get myself into a brand new truck. It's overdue, and my guy Ron knows that, but Ron subscribes to Sanderson Ford's sales approach, which is no nonsense, no hassle, no pressure. They're unbelievable. They just want to tell me every time I kind of am inquisitive as far as what kind of vehicles you got on the lot. We got over 70, close to 80 pre and new vehicles that can be purchased and find the right deal for you. Sanderson Ford, they thrive on that sales approach, and you're going to really appreciate it. It's the most awarded Ford dealership in the Valley of the Sun, and it's been around for decades. You got to go check it out. Check out a new Edge for only $35,995. And also check out the hundreds of quality trade-ins that they got at their year-end sale. So they're loaded up for the best deals in 2025. Choose Sanderson Ford, the no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense experience, and get more for your trade. Easy on-the-spot financing. Drive into the new year in a new Ford from Arizona's most awarded Ford dealership, Sanderson Ford. We got to catch up with our guy Chris Sims out here. As I said, he did the old All-City Gauntlet, talked to each and every one of our shows out here, and I highly encourage you go check it out. He actually worded it in an unbelievable way. I can't even tell you because we're a family-friendly program, but of course our guy likes to get colorful with his language. Our guy Chris Sims, he's here. He's doing it. It's a annual Kyler Murray temperature check as far as where the Cardinals franchise quarterback is with our guy from Unbuttoned. We call him the Radio Row GOAT. It's Chris Sims. Unbuttoned is the podcast. Of course, I listen to him every day. Him and Florio just going back and forth. You guys get intense in your conversation.
Well, we do. Yeah, I mean, he can be a jerk sometimes, so I got to put him in his place.
You absolutely do, and you've got the best takes out here. We love always talking to you. This is like our annual thing.
It is.
And we got to do our Kyler Murray temperature check, as we always do. What's your take as far as Kyler Murray's 2024 performance? 4 touchdowns in the finale, meaningless game against San Francisco.
Yeah.
Overall, though, 21 touchdowns. Struggled post-bye. What was your assessment?
I still am a fan of Kyler Murray, right? You still got a guy that's special there in Arizona. Is it perfect? No, but I mean, there's only like 4 perfect guys in football right now: Lamar, Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow, right? They kind of stand alone. But like Kyler Murray, when he's on his game, right, he can reach levels that get up there. And I like everything that's going on in Arizona right now. I do. First off, this is what I liked about him this year. In the pocket, played tougher, right? I felt like was a little more patient with throws over the middle. As we know, smaller guys with the pocket collapsing don't always want to do that. So those are things that I saw. Not maybe as quick to leave the pocket just because somebody's around me or the first guy wasn't open. Those are little things that I looked at to go, I like that about Kyler Murray. And then you talk about the way you guys ran the football. And now we got some money and some more assets to play with here in Arizona. I think, as I told you last year, I'm kind of a big fan of the big picture plan there in Arizona and how Monty Ossenford and Gannon are approaching this thing.
You feel like offensively with Drew Petzing, who is a polarizing figure all of a sudden in Arizona, people they wanted to see more from this offense because they see the personnel. They see Marvin Harrison Jr., they see Kyler Murray in the skill set, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride.
Yes, it's close.
Is it a process? Is it something like keep the faith?
Yes.
As far as this offense and it clicking and maybe getting to that next level?
I think so. Keep the faith. Kyler Murray, it's still early for him in this offense. The first year, he missed half the year with the knee injury, right? So it's still early in his development. I like the offense overall. Now, do you bring up some things as far as that are interesting? Hey, Marvin Harrison's really good, right? I was a guy in the draft that tried to tell everybody the 2 guys at LSU are more explosive and bigger playmakers than Marvin Harrison Jr. He's not going to be the guy that goes for 80-yard touchdowns. That's not what he is. It's going to be a lot of great 5 and 10 and 15 type yard completions. I do think there needs to be a speed explosive guy, all right? A guy that opens up the field. I think that'll be the next thing that'll make Trey McBride look even better and Marvin Harrison Jr. look even better. Or Michael Wilson, who was a great, again, intermediate receiver, but not the guy that the defensive coordinators go into the game going, man, if he's one-on-one, we're in trouble, right? I think that's where you guys miss one other playmaker in the offense, and I think you do that with the way you run the ball, creative run game design. I think with that and Kyler Murray's abilities that, it could get dangerous there in Arizona.
As far as MHJ goes, though, I mean, when we saw the complete 2024, over 60 catches, 800, almost 900 yards.
It's a good year.
Good year, right?
It was a really good year.
It just wasn't Malik Neighbors. It wasn't BTJ.
But it's so what? You got a guy there that he's the guy. He's the man. You can formulate the offense around him. And there's still things that he does that are better than Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr. down there in Jacksonville. He is a good route runner. His size is real. His ability to set up defenders and set up leverage to get open is next level for somebody his age. So they got a guy here. Is it going to be 80-yard touchdowns like we talked about? No, that's not who he is. But is he a guy that could lead the league in receptions and have a lot of yards, maybe not all the yards per catch? He's that type of guy. I like his game a lot. I really do.
How far are we willing to go with Trey McBride as far as the best tight end in the NFL right now?
Well, I mean, I think it's, at least in the conversation, the best pass-catching tight end, right?
Yeah.
Run blocking, he can probably get a little bit better at. He's willing to do it, though.
Right.
That's what I like about him. But, when you think of the best pass catchers at tight end right now, it's odd. I almost want to sit here and go right to the damn young guys and him and Brock Bowers. They might be the 2 best young guys in the game. He's a weapon. So that's what again, it brings me back to the big play guy. You got a lot of good 10, 15 over the middle. We'll catch it in traffic. We can catch it with bodies around us and box you out. But now you need that guy that you can go, wait, can we throw a screen and somebody break it for 70 every now and then? Right? That's when your offense goes to the next level. Or throw a bomb and just, hey, the drive's over. One play, 70 yards, boom. And you get that. I think you guys can be dangerous.
You think that's draft, or you think that's you go find a vet, somebody who can maybe run the slot a little bit?
It depends. It's all going to depend on draft positioning, what's there. And I don't have a great feel as the overall draft right now.
I mean, like Tez Johnson, that's who I think of out of Oregon.
Burner. I hear you. It could be that type of guy. Is there a, like last year, Darnell Mooney, who went to the Falcons, was on the free agent market, right? Is there a guy like that? Again, a guy that he's not going to lead our team in receiving, but he's going to lead our team in big pass plays, explosive pass plays. I don't, again, that's where when we get together at the Combine, I'll have a better feel of like draft and free agency and who that might be.
Last question, though, and you just said, you get a better feel for it, but if you're just off the top of your head, draft, free agency, who would be the best ad for this Cardinals team this offseason?
Well, I still think that just my overall big thing with the Cardinals overall is you got a lot of the meat and potatoes. Now we need some sizzle. We need some sizzle. We need some guys on the. I think fans would not be able to name a person on your defense, right? If I was just being serious. Like my Aunt Wendy. My Aunt Wendy loves football. My Aunt Wendy can't name a person on the Arizona Cardinals defense. So that's what I would say is the next thing is some guys up front who can make a play. I love your safeties, we know that, right? But it's some guys that can disrupt and what I call the play up, right? Where they might not make the tackle or the sack, but they ruin the design of the play, like Jalen Carter does to the Eagles so much. Those, you need some difference makers there, and an edge rusher, right? Those to me is the next step here in Arizona.
Your Aunt Wendy's not a sicko. She doesn't know about Zaven Collins. She doesn't know about Jesse Luketa.
I know. I got a teacher.
French roster guys.
Buddha. She knows. She probably knows Buddha Baker.
But that's on the back end,
exactly right.
And you need somebody up front, defensive front seven.
Right.
Oh man, we got a big primetime player here. He's doing some great work out here. Chris Sims, Unbuttoned, PFT Live. You got to make sure you're dialed into all the Sims content. His Aunt Wendy, man. Got to get up to speed on those Cardinals outside linebacking core. It's slipping a little bit, but always great insight from our friend Chris Sims, who thinks that's a Cardinals offense. It just needs a little bit more time. And also it needs maybe just one little speed wide receiver to really kind of change what they do offensively. You're not going to believe what DJ Humphries wants to do. He's already making plans that would make Tom Brady blush as far as how he's going to celebrate winning his first Super Bowl. We're going to get into the conversation with the former Cardinals left tackle DJ Humphries next year on PHNX Cardinals. I'm out here and I'm struggling with the internet here in Radio Row, but I don't have to really fret about it. I don't have to worry because I just tapped into my Verizon service. I love Verizon. If you haven't checked into Verizon and all that they have to offer from a service standpoint, as far as the up-to-date, newest technology, then what are you doing with yourself? Verizon's even gave you more incentive, which is crazy. Beyond just having the most reliable service in America, it's actually also giving you $800 to pay off your phone promotion. That's going on right now. They're going to give you $800 to buy off your old dumb phone and get yourself a brand new smartphone that's going to get you up and running, up and absolutely operating at an optimal level. Tired of your phone bill just draining your bank account? I was until I switched to Verizon. Wish you could use that money on something new, more exciting? Well, yeah, you can check it out with Verizon. They feel you're paying for a limited time. New customers will get $800 in prepaid MasterCard to pay off your current smartphone loan when you switch. That's right, $800 prepaid MasterCard. Just trade in your phone for the top brands. Select, do an unlimited plan with Verizon right now. This deal won't last long, so don't get stuck on the bench with an old phone that costs too much. Switch to Verizon today. Take control of your game plan. Visit the local Verizon store for all the details. Also, big game here in town. I know people are starting to search for some tickets. Game Time's the only spot that you need to look for any concert, whatever you're looking for, stand-up comedian, sporting event. Game Time is your one-stop shop, and you can save even more money. I mean, you're going to save some money by using Game Time just to start with, but also you can save more by just signing up, becoming a Game Time user, and on behalf of PHNX. Use the code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase with Game Time. Game Time, of course, gametime.co. You can check it out right now online, or you can just download the app. I suggest that. That's the easiest thing to do. and you're going to get yourself into Suns games. I know they had a tough loss last night, but they're looking to bounce back. You could probably get yourself into the Purple Palace with some good tickets on a great price from Game Time. If you're looking for the latest and hottest concert tickets, you can find them Game Time. Download the app today. And, of course, use the code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account, redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So we were hanging out last night, Super Bowl opening night. It was a who's who as far as the NFL world, including the two teams that are going to take the gridiron on Sunday. And one of those teams actually had some familiar faces for us Cardinals fans. Hollywood Brown, DJ Humphries, DeAndre Hopkins, all wearing the Chiefs red, white, and yellow. And we were able to catch up with the Cardinals' former franchise left tackle, DJ Humphries. This is what Hump had to say.
PHNX Cardinals hanging out here, Super Bowl opening night with Cardinals great DJ Humphries. Man, just take me through this. Obviously, last year at this time, you're coming off the injury, making your way all the way back, and now playing in the biggest game of your life.
Man, it's definitely been a heck of a year, man. This time last year, I was non-weight bearing, and I couldn't put any weight on the ground, and now I'm walking laps around the Superdome, getting ready for the Super Bowl, man. It's definitely, God is amazing, man. It's definitely a story. Came here and fell right into a great opportunity. I mean, Coach Reed and all those guys, they were all super excited for me to be here. Unfortunately, once I got out there, I would probably should have had a better plan going into the game. I felt super good just jumping out there back into it like old time, and my body wasn't quite ready. You know what I mean? So that my hamstring let me know it wasn't ready for the moment quite yet. But my body since then, my body's been getting back in shape and just getting ready for the opportunity, man. It's been a blessing being a part of this thing.
It's like you're a 10-year vet. You're not a rookie anymore, right?
Yeah, man. It's been a long time coming, man. Long time coming.
Yeah, I was talking a little bit before we got started here. Back to the Valley as soon as you play this final game of the season.
Oh yes. Back to that, to a little warmth. It's a little chilly in KC, so right after that parade, we headed back.
That sounds like a good plan. Hey, before the season started, Paris Johnson Jr. said that he moved into your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Is he being a nice? Is he a good neighbor?
I hope he's holding down the neighborhood. Like I said, I've been gone, but hopefully he's holding down the neighborhood. But that's my guy there, man. PJ, he's a special kid, man. He's gonna be a great for sure.
What'd you see from him this season? Did you get to watch him play at all?
I watched him just seamlessly transition back over to the left side like it was nothing. And everybody that's ever done that knows that it's a big deal. And he did it so seamless, man. That dude is a class act on and off the field. So to see him be able to continue to progress like I knew he would, whether I was there or not, it's been so fun for me to watch.
You guys were a tight-knit group. You know, Paris, yourself, Yoda Froholt. What do you miss about your guys the most?
Man, I think just that natural camaraderie that we had, you know what I mean, being a part of the group. Coming here and being a part of this group, they welcome me in with welcome arms, you know what I mean, but it's different when you're the new guy versus like, this is my room and these are my guys. So I think that's probably the most thing I miss the most for sure.
When you think back, drafted in the first round, such a successful Cardinals career, 9 seasons, correct?
Yep.
What do you think the most fondly back when you look at your Cardinals career?
I think just my progression as a human, you know what I mean, the way that outside of football, how I grew as an adult and as a man and as a father, husband, you know what I mean, all of that stuff, I think that's probably my favorite thing about it. Those two, that growth and the Cardinals are attached in my mind, so I definitely, that's the first thing I think about.
You think about the parade, you mentioned it, I mean, are you going to be we've seen a lot of guys go crazy in those parades. Are we going to see DJ Humphries, celebrating pretty hard?
Absolutely nuts. Like they probably going to have to. Like you remember when Tom Brady, how they would walking him in?
In Tampa?
Stretcher for me.
DJ, man, it's been too long. We're so happy and excited for you, getting this other opportunity, and thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all.
Unreal stuff from DJ Humphries saying they're gonna need a stretcher for his Super Bowl winning celebration out there on the streets of KC. You miss that type of personality in the Cardinals locker room. I mean, they're not short on that. I mean, you saw Will Hernandez, and that's just the caliber of players, like character, but also somebody that can be serious at the right time, and then also good on the football field. And DJ Humphries, before he went down to that knee injury last season, right before the end of the year, he was playing at a pretty decent clip, and now he's on a Super Bowl roster with a team that's capable of doing something that's not been done a lot here as far as NFL goes. Coming up next, we're going to check in with another former Cardinal, Hollywood Brown. what it's like to finally see it happen between having him and DeAndre Hopkins in the same receiving core and on the field, healthy and playing. We'll talk with the former Cards speedy wide receiver next here on PHNX Cardinals. Got to tell you about our friends over at Cult Cannabis, now available in your local Trulieve. Trulieve just down the street from our studios in downtown Phoenix, but they're all over the valley. And right now they're teaming up with Cult Cannabis for an unbelievable collaboration. And Trulieve's got that exclusive magic marker strand of flower that everybody's looking for. The valley's been asking for it. Right now she's back. Visit Trulieve.com and you can find your local shop near you and place an order and tell them your friends over at PHNX Cardinals sent you. Trulieve, Cult Cannabis, it's a great collab, great flower. It's so hard to find these days, so take the heavy lifting out of it and just turn to your friends over at Cult Cannabis and Trulieve. Log on to the website, Trulieve.com, and they're gonna tell you where you can go find it and find that Cult Cannabis magic marker strain. New location in Maricopa for our friends out in the Cope. Opened up early this month, and man, they're fully operational right now. Check them out and check out Trulieve.com to find your local shop to place an order and tell them your friends at PHNX Cardinals sent you. As I mentioned, lots of action up on the board. Bet365, whether it's the big game or whether you're looking at the NBA slate, the NHL slate, college hoops, it's all heating up and you're not short on action. Right now, Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide. They've got 780,000 events each year and early payouts across the NBA, NFL, NHL, and Major League Baseball once it's back here before you know it. Right now, you can sign up with Bet365 and the incentives, they're out of this world. You got that early payout offer, as I mentioned, but get right now, new customers, $150 in bonus bets. When you bet $5, win or lose, you get $150 in bonus bets. Use the code PHNX365, deposit $10, and place your bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. Regardless if your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used to spread on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365. Of course, you got to be 21 years or older, physically located in Arizona. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 and visit problemgambling.az.gov. It's a lot of talking.
You're getting your fill in today, Bo.
We did get our fill in last night. It was fun catching up with some former Arizona Cardinals. If you haven't seen the clip of DeAndre Hopkins, I was able to ask D-Hop what his favorite catch of his career has been to this point. Of course, I was leaving the door open for him to maybe one-up it.
Throw us a bone.
But yeah, I was like, I feel like I know what the answer is. I'm throwing one out and hoping to bring back a Cardinals response, and it was not what we were expecting. It was D-Hop saying that his favorite catch in his career was his first touchdown catch from Patrick Mahomes in a Chiefs uniform.
Womp womp.
This man, even if he took out like a Texans, maybe his first catch of his career, I would have accepted that. He said that the Hail Mary was dope, but he's playing for something bigger here as far as the Super Bowl. And I understand that to an extent, but I don't know, maybe there's something underlying there. Maybe
it's just like we don't have much, Bo.
No.
You know, we have that Hail Mary. You can't take that away from us. It'd be like if Gonzo said his favorite hit was like on the Tigers or something. You know?
It was when I was wearing a Marlins uniform. By the way, you can check out an interview we did with with Gonzo's teammate there for the world champion Diamondbacks on our YouTube page with Kurt Schilling. But we caught up with Hollywood Brown last night on opening night. Got to talk to him and see what Kyler Murray's former wide receiver one was up to.
Hollywood, 2 years in the desert. Now you made it here to the Super Bowl. How's this feel?
Oh, man, it's a blessing, man. I'm just thanking God, every step of the way and just, soaking everything in.
Let me ask you this. We're just feet away from DeAndre Hopkins, and Cardinals fans were robbed of seeing you guys on the field consistent enough. How does it feel to be out there with Hop now on a week-to-week basis?
It's been a lot of fun, man. We talk about, our time and, how we never really even got to, do what we wanted to do. But just being here in this moment, we want to take full advantage of it, man. And, I'm happy being a fan of his, that he's here as well.
What has he taught? Has he taught you anything that you've added to your game? Like, what kind of resource is it with having a guy like Hop on your receiving corps?
I mean, we always just say, make the play. Like, Hop is very, let's just make the play. Like, we're not getting too high, we're not getting too low. Let's just make the play and move on.
Hey, Kyler Murray played 17 games this season. What'd you see from your guy?
He looked it real good, especially early on. I mean, I really wanted them to make the playoffs, but I know they're going to get it together. I mean, just how everything turning around is definitely they're on the up and up.
Where you guys are in your career, who's the faster player now? Is it you or K1?
I've always been a faster player.
Never was a doubt. It's always been Marquise.
Yeah, he like to do a lot of talking when it comes to that. Like, I always been, let's just race, and he would never do it.
Hey, there was always like the old tales of you guys running, was it scout team practice? Was it scout team for Oklahoma? Can you give us a little bit a story from that time?
I just know we used to go at it with Baker, and we used to kill the starting defense. That's like every day. So, yeah.
Marquise, congrats on all your success, man. Good luck this week.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Great stuff. We always were fans of Hollywood Brown. Obviously, we didn't feel like the organization was going to make it a priority to bring Marquise back, but it's always good to see a good guy go out there and find success post Cardinals career. In the conversation of wide receivers, is Hollywood's look to go prove himself this year, and I think he's going to have to. We'll see what he can do as far as his market goes going forward. We had the news break yesterday before we were walking into the event last night that Cooper Kupp said that the Rams are looking to trade him, and he doesn't necessarily agree with it, but was giving thanks to the Rams and the organization for giving him an opportunity. A guy that was a Triple Crown winner as far as the NFL in receiving. As players become available, people start to tag a lot of us who cover this team on social media. That Kupp is out in LA. Could he be a fit? I think that's what a lot of people are insinuating. I don't think that there's the Cardinals aren't going to be in the Cooper Kupp market. Pretty confident in saying that. I don't have to source that. It's just watching him kind of disappear the last couple of games for the Rams and what the Cardinals are seeking as far as upgrades in the wide receiver core, Damon. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I mentioned this to you yesterday, Bo. Like, when was the last time we saw a player above the age of 30 making, premium money like a Cooper Kupp get traded after a horrible year, the worst year of his career?
Yeah.
I mean, that just doesn't really happen. I find it pretty hard to believe that there's a trade in the works. I definitely think he's a cut casualty type of guy.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any way that the Rams are going to find somebody that's going to take on that contract unless they're going to take on help financially with that, especially towards the cap. When most NFL teams, just like the guy like with DeAndre Hopkins, like they're gonna connect the dots and they're gonna follow the tea leaves and they're gonna realize that there's not gonna be anybody that's gonna make a significant offer and take on that deal. And more than likely, you're going to be able to maybe sign Cooper Kupp to a more team-friendly contract if you even feel like you have a spot for him. You got a guy that he's going to be on the downslope of his career. Obviously the Cardinals have a need at slot receiver, but they're looking for a burner. They're looking for somebody that can kind of really kind of get some separation. And I don't think that's Cooper Kupp now in his career. But it's always good to know, regardless if where he is at this point, this stage in his career, whether or not he's going to be off the Rams going forward. So now you got to worry just about Puka, and then hopefully that the Rams don't get themselves a playmaker to kind of take the spot of Cooper Kupp. But great career in the NFC West, guy with a Super Bowl, got the go-ahead touchdown against the Rams, and a pretty damn good career. And we'll see if he's able to kind of extend it somewhere for a team that's going to be able to give him snaps. But I don't think that's the Cardinals. We do try to figure out where the Cardinals go from here with a bit of a polarizing figure as far as the fan base goes. People are kind of shocked to see that we caught up with Mike Florio. We do address that he does kind of rub the Cardinals fans the wrong way, but he was nice enough to give us this time, so it's a very cordial conversation that we had. But he also kind of gives a bit of, as he always does, a polarizing take as well. Listen to what Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio had to say about the Cardinals' 2024 season and the future offseason upcoming. Love being out here, Super Bowl Radio Row. Talk to Chris Sims, co-host.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, nothing but nice
sorry you had to
say.
deal with him. I'm sure you did. No, I love Chris like a brother, and I hate Chris like a brother.
There you go. It's family, right? Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk. Where do we feel the Arizona Cardinals are now going into year 3 under Monty Ossenfort?
Yeah, great question. There were moments of potential contention this year. It wasn't sufficiently consistent enough. You wonder what the future is with Kyler Murray. You wonder if he would like at some point a fresh start. You just wonder where it all is. So many changes in the organization above the quarterback. And at what point do you ask yourself, do we need to go in a different direction? Just a reset. Sometimes everybody needs a fresh start, and there's no one to blame for it. But it just kind of feels like they're sluggish right now, trying to find an identity, trying to find their way back into a path where they can get to the postseason. I can't remember, what was it, 2021 was that the last
2021, it was a disaster.
The wild card
right?
round,
It was not
Sometimes
pretty.
it's better to not make the playoffs at all.
Right,
Better
right.
make the playoffs and get blown out.
It was the beginning of the end of Kingsbury and Keim, and now they pivoted to Ossenfort. And do you feel like the feeling is like divorce is inevitable as far as that?
I just think that it's on the table, and I think this year is going to go a long way toward determining whether or not it happens. And I wouldn't rule out some sort of a shock. Somebody traded for Kyler Murray. I wouldn't rule that out. I'm not saying, I'm not reporting it.
It's not inside information.
You just, the things where you're looking for where's the big story going to come from. Myles Garrett demanding a trade. You just never know what's going to happen. If the Cardinals get an offer that they won't refuse, it could happen. I don't know what the cap consequences would be, but I feel like it's just at least on the radar screen that this, 2019, you could argue it's run its course. You could argue we've seen it go as far as it can. Quarterback's the most important position on the field. There could be a point where the Cardinals decide they're going to go in a different direction. And I think this season, will go a long way toward deciding whether it's player, whether it's team, whether both want to continue this.
I feel though and you have a relationship with different fan bases, right? You embrace that on PFT Live all the time, and you just try to shoot straight, right? And, the Cardinals and you have had your moments. And as far as you at their bye week, then you tweet out or you either said it I missed watching this Cardinals team play this past weekend. As much as volatile as maybe the quarterback position could be, there is some stabilization going on as far as the new direction and the regime.
I hope so. Look, dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things. That's one of Big Cat's statements that I use all the time. And the dysfunction begins at the top of the organization. And there's a reason why bad teams stay bad and good teams stay good. The league is set up, in theory, for everyone to win a Super Bowl once every 32 years. But we see it doesn't work that way. And there's this cluster of teams that runs the league, and there's this cluster of teams that you never have to worry about. And the Cardinals traditionally are far closer to the cluster of teams that you don't have to worry about. Why is that? It's ownership. That's the common thread. And I know that fans will circle the wagons and they'll get mad at the messenger who says your problems begin at the top of the organization. And I think fans defend the organization and the owner because they're stuck. If there was a way to force Michael Bidwell out, maybe they would try to do it. But as Jed York said, the owner of the 49ers 7 or 8 years ago, you can't fire the owner. And that's the problem. And the only way around it, if you're a fan, you've got to deprive yourself of the thing you love in order to send a message. And enough fans have to deprive themselves of the thing they love to send a message that would get the owner to say, you know what, nobody's showing up because I'm the owner, I better sell the team. And it just doesn't happen. It never happens. Bad teams stay bad because of owners, and good teams stay good because of owners and because of quarterbacks, but also owners that don't screw it up when they finally get a good quarterback.
PFT Live, Mike Florio, thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Good talking to you.
Interesting stuff from our guy Florio. Did I just say our guy? It was interesting stuff.
Into the program.
Yeah, that's right. Making his second spot here. I just think that as far as Bidwell, Michael Bidwell, say what you want about him. I think he's done a good job in getting his fingers out of the football operations standpoint and really allowing Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon to reestablish the culture in Arizona. You heard Florio say he hopes so. And I understand why there's skepticism there. Obviously, it's tough, especially for owners in this league. But started to pivot a little bit as far as his stance on the Cardinals earlier this season, and liked what he saw as far as the product goes. But the tough part comes now for the Arizona Cardinals to take that step from a team that kind of made some noise and was intriguing and people wanted to find out about, and then kind of fell short of really kind of kicking the door in and kind of bursting on the scene. That needs to come next year and to turn skeptics into believers, and it's going to have to come with the team winning on the field and consistently. And I think that's what Monty Ossenfort is trying to put in place. it's just a slower burn than some of these teams that really attack a rebuild. Monty wants to be a draft and develop team, so he's doing that and acquiring draft capital, and you're seeing young players play significant amount of snaps. So we'll see, if that pans out for the Cardinals. But this is a pivotal offseason. I don't think Florio was insinuating that they're going to trade Kyler Murray this offseason, but understands, just like Johnny, myself, Damon, when we talk about this team on a daily basis, it can be make or break, especially at the quarterback position, depending on the performance in the upcoming year. So, I don't think he's saying, hey, they're going to go out there and they're going to shop, and Kyler Murray's going to be the NFL's, Luka Doncic trade where nobody saw it coming. But I think he said, like, Kyler's got to perform to where this team moves forward with him at quarterback.
Craig in the chat floating the idea, and it's just a theory, but he says, does Florio just have issues with Johnny then? He likes everybody else. It's just Johnny and Florio beef, He
thought it was pretty amicable. He thought that we got together fine. And
yeah, that's according to Craig Atwell, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, it's possible. I didn't thought about it, but Johnny is kind of the squeaky wheel of the program.
Hey man, I think typically when people look at us, PHNX Cardinals, and say, "Oh, we don't really like them," I mean, they're looking at a picture of Johnny Venerable. It's the Johnny Venerable show.
The man is not even here to
No, that's the best time to rip
defend himself. Yeah, I'm all for it. Punch as far down as you possibly can when they're not here to defend themselves. I say that. I know when I'm not on the show that what you guys are up to. I know what shenanigans you're up to.
I would never.
You guys are gross. You guys are absolutely gross. We have those weren't Florio, Sims, DJ Humphries, Hollywood Brown, Will Hernandez. That's just kind of scratching the surface as far as who we've talked to out here at Radio Row. We talked to World Series winner, polarizing figure himself, Curt Schilling, born and raised in raised in Arizona. Went to Mountain Shadows High School, went to Yavapai Junior College, and then also helped the Diamondbacks to a World Series title in 2001. You want to hear from Curt Schilling. We've got that video going to be posted here on PHNX Sports. Talked to Lindsay Rhodes from Sumer Sports. She had some really good insight as far as Marvin Harrison Jr. in his rookie season based on the data that they have at their hands there in Sumer Sports. So there's that. We are working on a big-time interview tomorrow. Can't wait to do it with our guy Johnny Venerable here on site. That's going to be going down, so make sure you're subscribed to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. And, of course, liking this video, following along at PHNX_Cardinals on Twitter and Instagram at PHNX_Sports on both Twitter and Instagram. But for us here on Radio Row, day 2 of broadcasting, it's coming to a close. And I want to say thank you to everybody that who's tuned in. Do we have any super chats, or are we clear? We're clear, but thanks for everybody for watching today, and we're going to be back full force tomorrow right here on PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.